Doveston and welcome to the I Ching Cafe and our first full weekly overview for October, for the week commencing the 4th of October 2021. If you have not yet done so, the monthly overview for October has just come out, so go and tap into what October is asking us to pay attention to. And there certainly seems to be lots going on. The finishing of the finishing, right? Finishing well and making sure that we close off cycles the best way we can without pushing forward when the time is not yet ripe. So let's have a quick relook at what happened last week, what we were asked to pay attention to. And we had hexagram 17, following, having a following, leading by having a meaningful purpose that we are drawn towards, as well as a very interesting hexagram of hexagram 45, amassing greatness, tapping into the crowd, networking. Perhaps you were the famous person on the stage with screaming fans. Wouldn't that be wonderful? The idea of how we can tap into the vast collective around us, how we can really expand by uniting people through a common goal. And perhaps you just had a lot of conversations and a lot of connections and lots of coffee dates last week that kept you really busy as you tapped into a much bigger group of people. We're amassing opportunities. And what does that look like? Right, so this week, let's have a look. So our first hexagram is hexagram 9, the small accumulates, or the accumulating power of the small. And this is all about taking our eyes off the big, hairy, audacious goal, or the big, wild, strategic idea, or the big notions we have about our life, and being forced, whether we like it or not, into the small stuff. So yes, this is a week where we sweat the small stuff, but in a good and healthy way. And this hexagram really calls to mind the idea of what it is to be a farmer. Not that I can speak on behalf of farmers, but what it feels like to have lots of crops, lots of animals, lots of things that need to be taken care of, and everything is important. You can't just not pay attention to your individual sheep or cows. Each one must be cared for, must get medical attention, must be fed, and must be looked after and allowed to roam and be happy and merry in the paddock. But every plant, everything needs to be cared for. And as a farmer, you've got all these things that you are nurturing and supporting, and you're watering and you're feeding and you're running around and you're tidying up. There's a lot to do. It's a multitasking nightmare. Okay, so part of this week, what we're being asked to do is to say the small things are really important. And we need to reclaim our energy and pull it back and be that farmer and be focused on giving everything what it needs. It's usually a week where a lot is happening. There's lots of little things that fly at us, small little details that seem to take lots of energy, that just tie us in, where we don't feel like we have this one big thing that we have just scratched off our list, right? There's lots of little things. And I want you to, this week, and I want to try and remind myself that every small little thing is a victory. Every tiny little thing on your to-do list you can tick off is releasing energy. And this week, we've been given permission to accept that, to embrace it, and to see the gift in lots of little things moving off our plate. You might not feel this week like one big kahuna issue gets moved off. That liberation when you know you finished something big and it just moves off and you feel so much lighter. That's not what this is about. This is about those little small things. Tick, 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 tick. So yes, get out your to-do list. Appreciate that everything you tick off releases energy. Bring yourself back to yourself and focus on what's really important. The small things that perhaps you've overlooked. You've been too busy on the big, sky ideas. Come back down to earth. Let's focus on what's here and now. Now we have two changing lines for this week in the first and the second place. And both these changing lines are all about a call for us to get back into our flow. Okay, so changing line in the first position, our first pop of change that we're being asked to pay attention to is to get back into the flow of just being a passenger in the journey of life, not trying to create the river. Okay, so there's a sense here that we are probably having some frustration this week where we want to push something, where things are taking too long, or we just want to get it done, or perhaps it's one of those ones we want to tick it off. I know I'm thinking of one particular thing. I'm like, I just want to tick it off. I just want to get it off my plate. Actually, we have to get back into flow and be the passenger on the river, not try and create the river. And so this week, whenever you feel that frustration coming in, of that urge to push, to say, when I'm pushing this week, I'm out of my flow. Let me just get back into being part of the creative process, not feeling like I'm responsible. So it is about getting back into being part of the creation process, not feeling like you are the creative process, okay? And this ties in a way back to our monthly overview of not trying to force things too soon, too early out the gate, of just appreciating that sometimes it's not time, even though we are completing things, to push, push, push. And so I feel like with this first week, we're in a way already tapping into that first changing line for the monthly overview of saying, just don't be so hasty, just pull back a little bit, get back into your flow, like relax, relax into it, because that stress of trying to move things forward is not the flow of change that we're in right now. All that's going to happen is going to cause you difficulty. Our next changing line is also about flow, but here it says we are pulled back into flow like an animal that is leashed is pulled back off a path. So this feels a little bit violent, but what it's really trying to highlight is that either we spot the error, we spot where we are out of the way or flow in the final minute, and we go, whoa, okay, that's not for me. That's not what I need to do. I suddenly see the repercussions of going down that door. What we need to do is go through that door, and you see it and you spot it last minute, and in a way you self-leash, right? You pull yourself up, whoa, nearly, right in the last second. Or somebody else or circumstances that is looking after your highest and best interest says no. Okay. So where you feel like suddenly someone has pulled you away from something, or you've had something ripped away from you, or the path has just suddenly closed, or the door's closed, and you suddenly are ripped away from one path to the other. Just remember these words of like the feeling of an animal being leashed, being pulled back and pulled away from where it needs to go, into the path that it does need to go. And this is all about getting us back into the flow. So that's really interesting. Let's see how these two corrective measures play out. One is saying, you can see you're out of flow if you're trying to push. And the second one says someone else is going to make that decision for you. Or if you're blessed, that you see it and your eyes are open and you are listening and you're taking in the biofeedback that is always available to us, and we are stopping in the nick of time to say, no, that path is not for me. All right, so two very interesting changing lines for us to work with this week. Our outcome hexagram for the week, our second flow of change, is none other than the beautiful hexagram 53 development, all about the long process of growth and development that is getting us where we need to get to, getting us to the top of the mountain. And it's the step-by-step process of every day growing and expanding and working towards maturing our skills and abilities and understanding and our relationships that gets us to that point. So I think with this week, with these two energies combined, we're getting some clear information that we have to pay attention to the small things. We have to make sure we care for everything that comes our path, one thing at a time. Let's just give everything what it needs, and let the small things shape and focus your attention this week. Don't fight them. Don't think that because they're small, they're insignificant. See them as small, significant bursts of growth, and that there's this development process this week that's guiding us forward. Isn't it wonderful that we are making progress? We are steadily moving towards where we need to go because we are growing. Wonderful. We love growth. All right, so that is our week. Remember, go and have a look at the monthly overview for more information about October. And I will see you on the socials, and hopefully we'll see you on the subscriber list and join us for the ongoing conversation. Please leave a comment. I love having comments come from you. So thank you so much, and I will see you soon.